Hey, it's Lando from The Snap. Today we are talking about Justin Fields, Ohio State quarterback. He is a 6'3 junior, 223 pounds. He is an absolute stud. I'm here with my boy Mack, and we are profiling this guy to get you ready for the NFL draft and potentially your fantasy football season. Drop it in the comments below where you have Fields ranked this year as a prospect. Do you think he could be number 1? Do you think he's as low as number 5? I think you're crazy if you're thinking that. But either way, drop it in the comments. We are here talking about him. He is a 2019 Heisman Trophy finalist, a 2-time Greasy Breeze Quarterback of the Year in 2019 and 2020, second team All-American in 2019, and a first team All-Big Ten in 2019 and 2020. This was a weird year, but I'm here with my boy Mac to talk about his college stats. Mac, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Look, for those of you that have Justin Fields ranked outside of your top 3 quarterbacks, I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? I get it. You know, this guy didn't have the easiest path to where he is now. You know, coming out of high school, he was regarded as one of the best college prospects. You know, ahead of Trevor Lawrence at times, depending on who you asked. He has baseball roots, you know, like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. And in his path to Ohio State, he committed to Penn State. He decommitted. He went to Georgia, sat behind Jake Fromm after they announced in 2019 that Jake Fromm would be their starter. He transferred to Ohio State, won that job before the season started, and the rest is history. Like Landon said, this guy is a baller. And really, his 2020 season was cut short because of COVID. And we have a couple notable games to really take key pieces away from, which we'll talk about in the film room, our next segment. But I want to focus on 2019, his real year as a starter. And we have a lot of good things here. 67% completion percentage, 3,200 yards. A really nice 41-3 touchdown to interception ratio. I think really like this kid can make all of the throws on the run from the pocket. He can push the ball downfield. He's everything you want from an arm perspective out of a quarterback. Some things that we saw from him this year, increase in his efficiency. He went from a 67 to a 70% passer. That touchdown to interception ratio kind of came up a little bit, which we're not, completely thrilled with. But I think there were some key improvements for him this season, specifically in some of the bigger games. They made it to a bowl game, and they made it to the national championship, and we'll get into that in the film room. So, Lando, what did you find in your film study? I mean, I'm here with you to give you my thoughts, but you took a really good look at his film. What did you find?
He is bigger than he plays, so he's fast and quick. Even though we graded him as a 9 in size, if you didn't know it, he may look like Kyler Murray out there. Maybe not that small, but like he's not that big. So he's quick, he's shifty, very good mobility, but his awareness is tricky. So when he gets under pressure, it seems like he takes a lot of sacks. If his first read isn't there right away, he'll take a sack, or he'll look to run and it's not there and he takes a sack. So it's tough. That's something I believe he really needs to work on to get into the NFL. Going through his progressions, but his overall athleticism is phenomenal. We have him at a 9.5. Love him because he's a dual threat quarterback, but he does look to pass first. That's what I love. He's not what Josh Allen was first, or what Lamar Jackson was when he first came out. Justin Fields truly wants to pass the ball first because he's got a great arm. Speaking of that, his mechanics are solid. He's been a quarterback one pretty much his entire life. He's been, like you said, he's been compared to Trevor Lawrence. They are both Georgia boys. So he's been working on his footwork, his mechanics forever. He's been groomed to do this. His arm strength is phenomenal. His deep ball passing is some of the best. Like he's like Russell Wilson-esque. Maybe it's great. What we saw that in the All-State Fiesta Bowl versus Clemson. He threw so many great deep balls. Chris Olave was a recipient of several of those. And he's good on the run as well because he's so mobile. He's great on the run. But Mac, what about his weaknesses? What do you think? What do you see on film where he needs to work on more besides, I guess, what I saw or what I said?
I wanted to add one more strength here, and that's his rushing ability. You know, we talked about his mobility being a 9 out of 10. I mean, this kid in 1.5 seasons, 15 rushing touchdowns, over 800 yards on about 217 attempts. So, like, he's got that other element where the modern era quarterback really needs to be mobile and take advantage of the ground. And he certainly has that piece, and like you said, kind of plays like his play style is a little bit Kyler Murray-ish at times, shifty, elusive, quick, but he's 6'3". You know, it doesn't necessarily look like it all the time. Weaknesses for me, things that I think that he can do a bit better, because I watched the same film that you did. I think at times he's unable to, at the line of scrimmage, recognize a blitz. Like, he doesn't know the blitz is coming, and when pass rushers get up in his face, he tends to freeze. And I think to what you said, looking at that first read, almost being a little bit overcommitted, not going through his progression fast enough, he's not able to get the ball out. And I think part of that is his natural aggressiveness to want to push the ball downfield and use that big arm to make the big play. But he might be better off to use his shorter, more interim throws, like dumping it off to his tight ends or his running backs in the flats. Those might be things that he'll be coached into as he gets into the league. The other thing that I am a little bit concerned about is he only has a season and a half as a starter in the NCAA. Sat behind Jake Fromm at Georgia for a full season. Had a good season in 2019 and then a season cut short. Although he had a lot of exposure, played in a national championship game. He was a little bit banged up. He didn't have Trey Sermon. We won't hold that against him, but that Clemson game will certainly give him, we saw his ceiling there. So we'll give him a lot of kudos in regards to that. But the verdict is this kid can make a lot of plays. He has some weaknesses, but they can certainly be coached at the next level.
My best comparable player playing in the NFL right now is going to be Deshaun Watson. And that is a high-end comparison. It's almost not fair to these kids coming out of college, but I think he has that kind of upside. They're right around the same size and weight. We'll see what happens when it's officially done at the combine. But Deshaun Watson went at 112 in the NFL draft to Houston, and I do believe there's a chance that Justin Fields could fall that low. Now, there's also a chance that he could go in the top 1 or 2. No question. He's got that kind of talent. And I do think that because Deshaun Watson takes a lot of sacks and can make every throw, it's one of my favorite comparisons, especially on the high end. Maybe it's due to the lack of offensive line for Houston, but I do think that Deshaun Watson tries to do too much and force things, and that's a gift and a curse sometimes, and that's what Justin Fields does as well.
And I think that's a good comp, Lando, because like you said, at the high end, I think Justin Fields could go inside the top 3 or 4. I'd be shocked to see that Atlanta doesn't pick him at 4 if he gets there. And if we think back to Deshaun Watson's college days, he certainly had his up and down games. At times looked elite and the best prospect in the last couple years, and other times you're sitting there left scratching your head like, what's Deshaun Watson doing? Is this guy for real? I feel like I have those moments sometimes with Justin Fields as well. But my sort of low end comp here would be Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was a 3rd or 4th round draft pick in his day. Wasn't highly regarded like Justin Fields is, but I think they profile about the same, about the same build, same weight. And I think when they come down to it, they're both, dogs, a little bit of a bruiser, not afraid of contact, can make the throws, but their athleticism is what sets them apart. And I do see that for Justin Fields. I think as an athlete, he is, very, very talented, naturally gifted in many areas. And to be an elite talent at the next level, I think he just needs to refine what he has. So I'm going with Dak Prescott, someone who coming into the league can surpass expectations. And that's kind of where I'll leave my comparison.
All right, guys. Justin Fields is my quarterback 2 from this 2021 rookie class. But I do think he's got the chance in fantasy football to be the quarterback one. His rushing ability, like Max said, he's a fast guy, clocked at a 4.51 out of high school, which is crazy fast for a high school kid. So it'd be rare. It's going to be tough. It's going to depend on his landing spot. There's a chance now, since Urban Meyer is the head coach in Jacksonville, that he could be drafted by Urban Meyer. Wouldn't that be crazy? And if he lands in Jacksonville, I do believe that Justin Fields is the rookie quarterback one for this incoming class.
There is no chance that Urban Meyer takes Justin Fields. I don't care if they've rolled together for 2 seasons now at Ohio State. Given the choice years ago, you can't tell me that Urban Meyer would pick Justin Fields over Trevor Lawrence. There's just no way. So I think given the choice, the ownership in Jacksonville is probably not going to let Urban make that pick anyways. They're going to roll with Fields. He's already been on tape saying that Lawrence is one of the best quarterback prospects of potentially all time. And so we're going to roll with him at 2. I do think there's a clear tier difference, though, tier break after Justin Fields going down to, guys like Zach Wilson. I think that Justin Fields is the better prospect. And for me, he's also my quarterback, too. I think he's definitely a difference maker at the position. And the Jets might be silly to pass on him, but we will see how this all plays out.
Thanks for coming by, guys. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out our other videos. We're doing a rookie profile marathon all off season long to get you prepared for your drafts and the combine. So thanks a lot, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.